The first time I saw Princess Lyra of Verelion, she was standing alone beneath the crystal arches of the Galactic Concord Hall, her silver-blue skin glowing softly under 1,000 hovering lights. Around her, diplomats from 100 worlds whispered, stared, or deliberately turned away. Some looked afraid. Others looked offended. No one approached her. Except me. I was not supposed to be there. I was a human cultural liaison, freshly assigned, nervous in my borrowed formal suit, still struggling to understand why the Concord, an ancient alliance of advanced alien civilizations, had insisted on including a human representative at all. Humanity was new, loud, and technologically clumsy by galactic standards. And yet, there I was, holding a data tablet and pretending I belonged. Princess Lyra was young by Verelion standards, barely 80 cycles, which translated to around 20 human years. Her species aged slowly, carrying responsibility far earlier than wisdom. She was the only daughter of Emperor Salith, ruler of the Verelion Star Dominion, one of the most powerful empires in known space. She was also the most unwanted bride in the galaxy. Rumors followed her like shadows. Her people were said to be emotionally volatile. Their bonds, once formed, were irreversible. To marry a Verelion royal was to bind not just hearts, but biology, politics, and destiny itself. If the bond failed, both partners could perish. So when Emperor Salith announced that Lyra would choose a spouse among the Concord races to secure peace, every delegation smiled politely and privately planned excuses. Every delegation except Earth. I didn't know that yet. I only knew that she looked lonely. When I approached her, her violet eyes widened slightly. Verelions were trained never to show surprise, but she was young, and the isolation had worn her thin. "You are human," she said, her voice musical but cautious. "Yes," I replied, bowing awkwardly. "Ethan Cole, Cultural Envoy. I thought you looked like you might want company." For a moment, I feared I had insulted her. Then she smiled, small, genuine, and unbearably sad. "I have wanted that all evening," she said. We talked beneath the arches while the galaxy pretended not to watch. She asked about Earth's oceans, about our music, about why humans laughed even when afraid. I asked about Verelion stars, about her studies, about what it felt like to carry an empire's future on her shoulders. By the time the bells of recess rang, something fragile and dangerous had formed between us. Connection. 3 cycles later, the proposal was announced. Not mine. Hers. When Princess Lyra stood before the Concord and declared her intention to bond with a human, specifically me, the chamber erupted. Delegates shouted. Translation crystals flickered under the strain. Emperor Salith's expression froze into something unreadable. I nearly fainted. That night, I confronted her in the moonlit gardens of the Verelion embassy. "You can't be serious," I said. "This isn't some cultural exchange. This is marriage. A permanent bond." She met my gaze, without flinching. "I know. Your people could reject you." "They already have," she replied softly. "And if it fails?" I asked. "If I fail?" She stepped closer, her presence warm, almost humming. "Then we fail together." The Emperor summoned me the next day. Salith was ancient, his form tall and radiant, his eyes carrying the weight of centuries. He studied me as one might study a fragile artifact. "Do you understand what my daughter offers you?" he asked. "I understand it's terrifying," I said honestly, "and that I don't deserve it." He nodded slowly. "Correct. But she has chosen you, and Verelion choice is sacred." The trials began immediately. I was tested physically, gravity endurance, neural synchronization, exposure to Verelion empathic fields. I was tested intellectually, diplomacy simulations, ethical paradoxes, historical reconciliations. And worst of all, I was tested emotionally. They showed me visions of our possible deaths, of wars that might come because of our union, of futures where humanity suffered because of me. Each time, I chose her anyway. Lyra watched from the observation balconies, her hands clenched, her bond sense already half awake. She felt my fear, my doubt, my stubborn refusal to abandon her. On the final day, broken and exhausted, I stood before the Emperor once more. Why? He asked. Why endure this for her? I didn't think. I just answered. Because she saw me when no one else did, I said. And because loving her feels like the bravest thing I've ever done. Silence followed. Then Emperor Salith lowered his head. The bond is approved. The wedding was unlike anything Earth had ever imagined. It took place on Verelian Prime beneath twin suns, the air shimmering with living light. Representatives from across the galaxy attended, some out of curiosity, some out of fear, some out of hope. Lyra wore a ceremonial mantle grown from luminous bio-silk, alive with her heartbeat. I wore a human suit adapted with Verelian glyphs, my pulse monitored, my nervous system synchronized to hers. When we joined hands, the bond activated. I felt her. Not just her emotions, but her memories, childhood laughter, royal loneliness, dreams of freedom. She felt mine, Earth skies, human uncertainty, the quiet terror of loving someone completely. She whispered, "You can still say no." I looked into her eyes, glowing with trust. I say yes. The galaxy held its breath. Light erupted around us, the bond sealing, rewriting biology and destiny alike. The Concord's instruments went silent. No alarms. No collapse. Harmony. In the weeks that followed, something unprecedented happened. Relations stabilized. Conflicts cooled. The Verelian human bond became a symbol, not of dominance, but of choice. Other species began reconsidering alliances based on trust rather than fear. Lyra and I retreated briefly from public life, learning how to exist within one shared emotional field. It wasn't easy. There were moments of overload, moments of doubt, moments when the weight of two worlds pressed too hard. But we learned, together. Years later, standing on a balcony overlooking both Earth's blue horizon and Verelian's twin suns via quantum projection, Lyra rested her head against my shoulder. "Do you regret it?" she asked. I thought of the fear, the trials, the impossible odds. Then I thought of her smile, her strength, the peace slowly spreading across the stars. "Not for a single moment," I said. She smiled, radiant and certain. And in that moment, the galaxy understood something new. That love, chosen freely, courageously, could reshape even the vast silence of space. Princess Lyra had said yes. And in doing so, she became more than a bride. She became a bridge between worlds. And I became her husband, not because fate demanded it, but because we chose each other. When the universe was watching. The end.